So here's the really cool thing about the David and Goliath story is most people, you hear that story and you think, oh, God can help me defeat any Goliath in life.
Right.
He can help me overcome any battle. And with the true story there, so here's some things that most theologians agree now that we have more evidence, but is that Goliath actually had horrible vision. So it says in the story that Goliath had to be led down to the fighting location, which is not common back then.
Mm.
Back then, it was actually a disgrace for you to have someone walk with you. You would walk alone out to the open field and you would fight one-on-one battle. Had to be led. So it's believed that he actually had bad vision and couldn't see very far. Second thing of information is that David was an incredibly well-trained marksman with slingshots. He had killed, I think,
Yeah,
multiple
because
animals,
he's a
large animals.
shepherd.
He was very well trained with defending his flock and killing large beasts at
Yeah.
range with these. And he had that going for him. So you have that, his experience as training with the sling mixed match with a guy who can't even see him from far distance. David actually was the more likely person to win the battle from the beginning, drastically more likely to win the battle. But the thing that we actually should take away from it is that trust God in all circumstances and know he has a plan because David didn't know that going into the battle. All he
Right.
knew is here's this big tough guy that's probably going to kill me, but I can't let him disrespect my God. What he did know is that God had been preparing him his whole life for that moment,
Right.
training him with that weapon, and then his opponent was going to be the perfect opponent for him, somebody who couldn't see at far distance.
And
And
somebody who
so
looked so when it came down, it shone well on
it
David.
shined God.
Like
Yeah.
that too, but David looked, like, good. It wasn't like he just took
Well,
anybody. I was like, "Oh my goodness,"
yeah.
like, he proclaimed the name of the Lord and then took out a giant.
It's the cool thing is like if we want to think, yeah, I can do all things who Christ who strengthens me, right? Philippians 4:13. That's great to think that way. However, the story of David and Goliath is not, I don't think is that. It's the
That was
story of
different.
that you should have faith in God and know God has a plan. And you should know that God is this infinite IQ being with a strategy. He's going to prepare you for the battles he sends you to, as long as you're steadfast in following what God calls you to
Mm.
do. Because God literally set David up for success. He trained him with that martial weapon, made him incredibly expert on it, then put him against an opponent that at sight, if you were to look and see, you'd be like, I'd be betting on Goliath. But really, if you have all the facts, David was more likely to win that battle, and he did. So, anyways, I just think that's a really cool, like, different view on the David and Goliath story.